So for the next presentation, Mr. Paniir, also from APPGM-SDG, will now show us the other side of the equation, how that data flows from grassroots communities up to policymakers and becomes evidence-based action.
Thank you, sir, and thank you for the opportunity today. I think my time is starting. Happy to see familiar faces here. A lot of people, Dr. Bayan, my mentor, Dr. Ellie, and so on. Also, Bayan Group, a wonderful team there in Philippines. Okay, let me go straight away into the presentation. I think what Dr. Bayan shared is actually the need for a multi-sectoral impact assessment framework. Okay, in terms of achieving what we want to achieve in mainstreaming SSE as part of policy. And followed by what Dr. Khairil is actually talking about Malaysia on how we are actually measuring impact on policies as well as the grassroots. So building from both of them, I'm actually, if you can start my slide, yeah. So get the technical team to start my slide. Okay, building from both of them, I'm actually going to share about how we actually develop the army that does the groundwork actually. For our impact measurement as well as impact creation works that we do at policy level. And I'm going to explain to you the processes actually. So let me continue, okay, while we are waiting for the slide. So today my presentation will be focusing on what we really do and where we do our work, which are the levels of engagement that we are doing, followed by who are the people that involve. Okay, involving multi-stakeholder, multi-sectoral people is key in building this army that does the impact work, and then how we do it actually. So what we do in Malaysia is actually we are actually building bridge in between grassroots communities to connect them to the parliament, to the parliamentarian, to the policymakers at the national. So that's what we actually really do in terms of our work here. And then I think I'll just start over with my presentation. When we talk about development is usually, if we refer to Amartya Sen, development as a freedom. Development actually covers freedom that Amartya Sen covers social development as well, where we actually give opportunity to people to live their better life, come out from poverty and so on, have a good housing and so on. So building from that, if we refer to this policy brief by UN on SDGs, okay, UN agrees that 65% of the SDGs targets are linked to the work and mandate that we do at the local and regional level. So that's where actually we are actually focusing our work at regional level, and very uniquely we actually package it as with a title called policy solutions. Actually, this very less people talks about policies at the regional as well as at the district or local level. So that's something that very uniquely we package it, where we want to really bring the policy understanding to the district as well as the grassroots level with all these people, the grassroots communities, the government officers, and the other stakeholders that is involved actually. If you can move to second or third slide. Yeah, next. All right. So in APPGM, I think in the process, for this particular slide, maybe due to the time, you can focus on what's in there at left-hand side, the two boxes at the left, where we actually practices HRBA framework, human rights-based approach, in curating our methodology, in actually identifying the local needs. So through the visits, through the focus group discussion, we will identify local issues among people, among the communities. And from there, we actually create an issue mapping report. Actually, it's a research report written thoroughly, and then it identifies issues to the themes as well as categories that we actually specify. And we also match it with SDG logos, indicators and targets as well, actually, SDG goals, target and indicators as well. And if you go to the next slide, I'll be actually jumping on, okay, from the local need that was recorded in the document and from the report that we have created. We actually does policy work at multiple levels actually. So this is something that very unique that Malaysia does. And this is also due to our constitutional separation of powers, Malaysian constitution separation of powers, where some powers are vested at federal government and some powers are vested at state level governments actually. and as well as the local governments. So what the APPGM approach in actually bringing out this policy solution boils down to actually 6 level of engagement, policy engagement. And what Dr. Khairil presented, and together with Dr. Su here in Malaysia, they are actually focusing on the red color 3, which is the Malaysian Parliament level, Ministry of Economy, some senior ministries level, as well as the other ministries level. So these are the works that we do at the national, where we have roundtable discussions, we have policy discussions, we have thematic discussions, and we are impacting the government policies as well as the plans that we are wanted to monitor. I think Dr. Khairil mentioned about monitoring the national plan, and this is the levels where we are actually going to engage with the ministries on how they're going to implement, what are the plans, and so on. And the work that we do, okay, apart from the ministry's work that Dr. Khairil and Dr. Su does, is actually the impact as well, the policy impact that we do at the regional, state, and actually district level or local level. So that's the main chunk of the work and main chunk of areas where people are really focusing into. And we really, in Malaysia, we want to bring this policy understanding, policy advocacy, the word policy solution itself, to the grassroots people, grassroots leaders, grassroots NGO partners, and as well as grassroots district government officers. Normally, government officers at the district level doesn't have the understanding how they're going to impact policy. They are the policy implementers. So now we are giving them the opportunity how they can actually influence policy at the national, from there where they are actually, district and local level. So these are the 6 areas or level of engagement that we have in Malaysia in terms of our work. And then next. Okay, in doing this, we are actually incorporating 3 major frameworks. I think SSE is part of it actually. So in our work, okay, in APPGM-SDG, we actually incorporated SDG as our primary framework, where we actually took up HRBA framework, Human Rights Based Approach framework, which is adopted from UN. And together with SDG, we are also incorporating social and solidarity economy frameworks, where social economy, the Malaysian plan, the National Malaysia, 13th Malaysia Plan, recognition of social economy coming under this particular framework, our own social SSE framework. And apart from that, we are also incorporating social work framework into the work that we do. This is mainly at the grassroots level and so on. So these are the 3 frameworks that we incorporate in order for us to deliver the policy solution work that we are actually currently delivering at Malaysia together actually by APPGM-SDG. And next. Okay, looking at the framework, now we actually jumping on to the people that involved in this particular work actually. So as what Dr. Khairil said just now, and also Dr. Bayan's presentation about multi-sectoral, we also work with multi-level of people, multi-layer of people in terms of delivering this policy solution agenda. As I said, we are actually leading an army that actually helps to actually deliver what Dr. Khairil is heading, the monitoring of the national plan, what the other leaders in APPGM heading, like Ms. Farah Izzati yesterday, about the solution projects and so on. These are the people that actually involved. Some of them are actually NGO people, NGO leaders. We have directly local coordinators in 55 locations where they deliver the policy solution agenda in 55 locations mainly. We have neighborhood leaders. They are the key partners. They mobilize the grassroots in order for them to actually involve in the monitoring as well as the impact evaluation framework of the Malaysian plan and so on. And also we have partners as well as youth. Youth is our biggest agenda as well in our work. And in total, in person, we have about 1,600 people, leaders actually working in this particular work that we do at Policy Solutions actually. So these are the people that involved. It's a kind of all hands job. It's not a one-person job. Our job is just to lead. These are the real people, real local champions who are running on the ground, making sure things are happening. As what Dr. Khairil mentioned just now. Dr. Khairil developed a module. We are now running the module in 46 neighborhoods actually, impacting nearly 35,000 people. So these are a few policy works that we really do for the past 2 years and the past 5 years as APPGM evolved in terms of bringing policies to grassroots actually. Okay, next. Okay, so in the process, we have seen the people who are involved. There are also models that we incorporate in terms of building these people into policy realm. One of it is actually solution partner empowerment model, where we actually handhold our partners who are running projects with us until they become project owners and they can self-sustain with cooperatives, social enterprise, formation of cooperatives and social enterprise establishments, and they can manage on their own. So this particular process takes really minimum 3 to 4 years, and it can even go up to longer years, depending on the partnership. And when it goes to community, we do have community participatory model that we took up, where we actually being with the community, we deal them with respect, we make sure they are actively participating until they have the ownership to the initiative that we are bringing to them. And one day, okay, by God's grace, they are the one leading the initiative, not us. We are bringing the idea to them, we are bringing the module to them, we are bringing them out of the cocoon that they are weaving. And one day we believe, and we are already making it happen, they are the one championing the modules that we want to bring out. So these are the two models, key models that we actually adopted through our work. Next. All right. So effective policy work, although we are doing a lot of work in terms of community development, such as micro projects, such as module development, and so on, 5 key work that we do directly impacting the policy solutions are these actually. Okay, and out of the 5, 3 major work that we do is actually capacity building. That's what Dr. Khairi is heading as well. He is helping us to actually come up with modules, come up with training materials, and he also leading the training with the agencies as well. The 3 major trainings for the communities are, number 1 is on policy advocacy. Number 2 is actually on the idea of building inclusive communities. And number 3 is actually what Dr. Khairi shared just now, the module on citizen rights and knowledge on the 13th Malaysia Plan. These 3 particular capacity building we are doing for grassroots communities. Remember the 5 partners I've told you just now? They are actually national partners. 4 of them are grassroots partners. The youth SDG agent, local coordinators, solution partners, neighborhood leaders. So we are actually building their capacity in these 3 particular topics. This is where they're going to help us in terms of monitoring the national plans together with Dr. Khairi later on. And apart from the 3, we also doing this multidimensional poverty study to actually measure the deprivation among people. As we say, development is actually a part of freedom. So, which means the right for good employment, the right for income, and so on, need to be measured in order to actually assess where our people are and how we can help them. So, multidimensional poverty study is also a major chunk in this particular policy work, and we are also giving importance to these policies as well, poverty elevation policies. And apart from the 4 program, which is one of the neighborhood development program, is an ongoing long-term sustainable program that we do in 46 neighborhood, involving nearly about 35 households that in the program, and it runs until throughout a year with thematic program and so on. So these 5 are the effective policy engagement program that we do that prepares community to actually involve in the policy work that we are actually suggesting. And these particular 5 initiatives give them an active engagement into the policy that we do. And next is how we actually connect all our communities to the government agencies so that we can do wonderful policy discussion at the district level. Next slide. Okay. To enable this particular partnership in between the communities, grassroots communities, and the government agencies who are actually designing and implementing policies, we are actually forming district level SDG committees. It's a multi-stakeholder committee that involves government agencies, that involves communities, and APPGM as a facilitator into it. And we bring in issues that we mapped before. Remember, we are actually doing focus group discussion to map the issues. And we are bringing the issues, we are discussing issues here, and we are really mapping the solution to the issues. Which means whenever there is an issue at stake here, we are actually bringing multi-partners. Okay, we have communities to actually suggest best practices. We have agencies to actually come up with plans, a 2-year plan, 1-year plan, short-term plan, as well as bringing suggestion on budgets on how to solve the issues. And then, as we see in the right-hand side, there are classifications actually. So there are issues that can be solved at the district level or local level. There are issues that require inter-agency kind of a discussion where the issue is not a very straightforward solution, it's very systemic and so on. We initiate all that at the district level. And for the issues that require regional and national intervention, that's where Dr. Khairul's and Dr. Su's team will be taking up for the parliamentary level discussion, ministry level discussion, and so on. So this particular SDG committee is actually a policy solution wholesome initiative where it connects the grassroots communities actively and directly into the government implementation. And the suggestions that coming out from here is actually taken up at the policy recommendation level at the ministries and so on. So we are actually getting policy implementers to actually actively participate in policy drafting through these particular committees, and that's what we are calling it as a policy solution initiative actually. I think moving on, due to the time, if I were to talk about this, I'd be talking about whole day. All right. So, okay, this is one of the case study. I can give you how we do it. So since we actually map issues within the communities, this is one of the issues that we mapped, which is very structural, where for the past 20 years, we have an indigenous community, which has been relocated from their original land in the jungle, so to pave way for the building of a dam, actually water dam. And then when they are moved out, they are given a land, they are given a house, but the tax payment method and all was not taught on them. They are not a taxpayer before. They were staying in the jungle. So when they come to a housing complex, they have to pay housing tax and so on. And they were also promised a rubber tapping income activity. There's a land available for them to plant and so on. So this was not solved actually. So the promises are there, things are not solved. And when we put up a SDG committee, multi-stakeholder committee at that particular district, we took it up, the issue. So in the discussion, we actually able to solve the tax issues where we also educate the community on the taxation and so on. So the tax areas were taken off by the district office, which is a wonderful decision, wonderful achievement of this particular multi-stakeholder committee. And now we're actually moving on in educating the community to pay the current tax that they're actually having. So which means we actually solved the tax issue. The rubber tapping income activity involved interagency actually. So we have a rubber body, okay, rubber tree body, okay, that governs the rubber tapping activities. We have the landowner. The landowner is the forestry ministry, so forestry department. And then we have the district officer who actually leading. So we are initiating this multi-sectoral, multi-agency meeting to solve this land issue, the land and the rubber tapping activity income issue. So an issue that is not solved for past 20 years, now in the pathway of solution. Half of it is settled, half of it is in a pathway of solution. So this is the beauty of this particular SDG committee, multi-stakeholder committee at district level actually. And as you said, the best practices from here will be taken up as a lesson to the policy the drafters at the parliament and also ministry. Next. All right, these are the locations that we are successfully implementing the particular model, the policy solution model. We are in 63 administrative districts now across Malaysia. These are the map. Next. Okay, we also recognize in the government document where government in the presentation of National VNR last year, 2025, mentioned about our particular initiative, district level policy solution as a way forward solution for the local issues and so on. And then apart from that, we have also other initiatives that we do, like parliamentary focus group by Dr. Su and Dr. Khairul, which are also highlighted here, and capacity building. As I mentioned before, capacity building is key in terms of building the capacity of the stakeholders that involved in the policy solution. And we are rightly recognized by the government and also the UN. Next. All right. So as conclusion, okay, we are actually getting a wonderful framework which has SSE, SDG, and social work into place. And then we have people who are involved in the process, the powerful people that become army that will help Dr. Khairul to monitor the national plan, the empowerment models and the capacity building programs, building people towards the work that we do. And the wonderful formation of SDG multi-stakeholder committee at the local level, and we are supporting the data up to the policy drafters at the national and so on. So this is the actually policy solution initiative that we do in Malaysia, where we are actually really connecting grassroots to the parliament in Malaysia. So that's the title. I think I presented this title in our last year's conference as well, from grassroots to parliament, how we actually connecting grassroots to be an active partner into national monitoring, national decision making. So I think given the title in actually measuring impact and so on, assessment of impact and so on, the people are the key actually, and the process, what we do and so on, which definitely has to support the impact framework that Dr. Carriel works on, and what Dr. Ben mentioned about the multi-sectoral people as what we do. We have multiple, multi-type of people, multi-stakeholder that involved in the initiative. So I always believe right minds coming together, we can actually develop a wonderful solution. And policy solution is actually one kind of model that actually can be taken up as a multi-sectoral, multi-stakeholder initiative for solution to the local people actually. So that's it from my side. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Paniir. Thank you for sharing all these initiatives. From your presentation, we can learn how various frameworks in terms of social impact assessment are actually harmonized into a single social impact evaluation process. It's also very interesting to see how you were able to integrate multiple sectors into the entire impact assessment process, how they are involved and how they are meaningfully engaged as part of the entire process. And this is really a model where no one is left behind. And it has already shown early signs of changes and outcomes, such as the changes in the policies that were already implemented. Thank you so much, Mr. Paniir.